we are. There's a light drizzle on the isle, and it's slowly clearing up. Here is a nesting ground in the plains, which is just overgrown grass, but an ideal spot to hide eggs from carnivores and egg stealers. We have two pairs, a pair of Parasaurolophus, a pair of Ankylosauruses, finally, a pair of Pachyrhinos. You might remember the dark-toned one. This Pachyrhinosaurus finally found a mate, and we will name him
Hammer. After two people, after one its head, and after the Dinosaur Island character, Hammer.
We also have this Pachycephalosaurus scuttling about. He seems to be looking after his egg. The female, the mother of the egg, died a while ago after an incident with the Tyrannosaurus, so the male has been looking after for a while. But it looks like someone else is coming to the picture as well. Someone non-dinosaur. Scuttle, the Dimetrodon. Scuttle has been featured in a couple episodes, but we've never really gone in depth about it. Scuttle also appears to come through, but none of the herbivores are aggressive to him. Well, a while ago, Scuttle and his recent mate, Dime, had befriended the herbivores so they could share the nesting grounds. Both Scuttle and Dime have also laid around 3 eggs.
They also have, Dimetrodon has actually grown to the omnivore diet. So, if you don't know what an omnivore is, they eat both plants and meat. These feed on the tall tree berries that fall from the tall trees.
So far, as the herbivores go on nesting, or omnivores, they continue looking at their eggs. But it looks like there's someone stalking them, trying to get a bite out of their meal. A Dromaeosaurus. None of the herbivores notices at first, but the Dromeo goes closely, trying to get a bite of an egg. He knows he can't take down one of these massive herbivores. He slowly goes. The Pachy has noticed him. He swings around and headbutts the Dromaeosaur. The Dromaeosaur is severely injured, having a couple broken bones. It tries to bite down into the Pachycephalosaurus, but it easily gets bashed down. The Dromaeosaur lies on the ground unconscious. This Pachycephalosaurus returns back to look after its egg, as the Dromaeosaur lies unconscious. Here we have a tiny zebra. Look, this zebra just came to the border. A giant wall that borders the Cenozoic area, the Badlands, and the plains. The zebra walks over and starts munching on some grass.
He's not the only animal here, as a new species of dinosaur is here as well.
The Gallimimus. The Gallimimus. These two pairs have just came from the Badlands. Usually, the Badlands has its own drought season, as most of the time there's not that much grass. So they occasionally will come here through the small crevices and feed on the grass and on the board of the plains.
As well as bugs, as they are also omnivores.
The female decides to skirt the burrow and to see if she can find any insects, while the male decides to continue munching on some different vegetation. Usually dinosaurs on the border come in harmony because it's usually not a spot where that many carnivores come. Carnivores usually come here occasionally when food is low, but so far, everything's at peace. Galleys decide to rest down, as it's been a long day, as they had to migrate all the way from the tip of the Badlands to the border.
It took them about 5 hours of non-stop running, which many humans could not do even if they tried.
Not to mention traversing several different landscapes and mountains, which have added up the time.
These galleys are completely tuckered out.
But that's when the zebra comes over. This zebra has only remained in the Cenozoic lands for a very long time and is not familiar with dinosaurs at all. So it goes closely to inspect them, but the galley gets up. The galley knocks the zebra, trying to get the zebra away. The zebra gets knocked back, but still goes closer to inspecting, feeling threatened, and decides to give its own special attacks. It raises its hoofs and slams down on the head, giving the male a very large injury. But the male fights back, and the zebra gets knocked out as well. The zebra falls unconscious, but after a few seconds gets back up on its skin and tries again, but fails. It decides it's not worth fighting and goes back to much of vegetation. You might think galleys are very sensitive creatures, but to be honest, with their speed and agility, they could actually put some pretty bad punches. The galleys go back to resting, and once they're rested, tomorrow we'll go deeper into the plains to start mating as well. Here we are, in this section of the isle, the Badlands meets the plains. In the intersection with the Gallimimuses, that's where the plains meets the Badlands. Here in this area, most creatures come here, as usually there's several different herbivores that come out of here as well. Looks like we have a well-known pair. This is Kilo. Milo's back in the nest, but Kilo's going out to teach its baby how to hunt. Tentatively, the animals that come out of the Badlands tend to be small, and usually in this area, there are not that many other carnivores that could threaten them. So here, their baby, which we haven't actually given a name yet, will start hunting. We will name him Hunter. Here we have it. A Titanoboa seems to be resting here in the shade. A Titanoboas mainly live in the woodlands and the jungles, but relatively also live in the Badlands. This Titanoboa is resting under some cobwebs. This is the perfect prey for a hunter to start hunting.
But the Titanoboa is a very strong predator, so Kilo is right next to it, waiting for it to strike. The Titanoboa is unaware. He bites down on the Titanoboa's leg. The Titanoboa shrieks in pain.
The Titanoboa can't move as it's immobilized by Hunter, so now Kilo goes and makes the final kill.
He grabs it down, letting Hunter take the final strike.
Blood splattered on the wall, and so's blood everywhere as the Titanoboa lies dead. Kilo's very proud of Hunter, gives him a little rub as a congratulations for making his first kill. But this is a basic kill. Titanoboas are relatively easy to kill and not that special. But this Titanoboa is pretty big, so maybe Hunter did accomplish something.
But something in the Badlands here is rivaling for a kill, as kills are rare.
A Herrerasaurus.
A night hunter, but it didn't eat enough during its night hunting. So it has to scavenge for a kill.
It looks on as Hunter eats the meal. Kilo's gone to scout the area, which means that Hunter is all alone. Here the Herrera goes closely and decides to take a bite. No intention of killing Hunter, but it looks like he goes for it. Hunter gets striked right in the neck, pushed back, broken bones.
Not dead, but close. The Herrerasaurus, not wanting to kill a baby Allosaurus, starts eating the carcass of the Titanoboa.
He starts eating it. The Titanoboa, he starts biting out of the skin. Hunter's barely breathing. He won't last a while. We'll just hope for his survival. But then he is a roar. The Herrera. One.
Milo, angered by, what happened, starts biting down on the Herrerasaurus's chest, legs, everything. The Herrerasaurus is trying to squirm out of it, but when he does, Milo ensures his fate. The Herrerasaurus knows that it is dead, but he can at least try to squirm. He manages to get up. He runs, but trips into the dirt, giving Milo the perfect opportunity. She jumps, getting the perfect bite, biting down on his neck, killing the Herrerasaurus. She goes to comfort her young, who is now barely breathing. She comforts him. He breathes 3 more breaths and dies. Milo, now suffering the loss of her young, decides to walk off, but not before eating some of the Herrerasaurus's body. As well, she is angry at it. She walks a little more. But the baby actually didn't die. It was thought to. It barely survived. It can barely walk. Hunter looks on at the Herrerasaurus's dead body. He moves it a couple of times, making sure it's dead, before he starts eating it, to try to heal some of his wounds. But one last character decides to make his comeback. You might be asking yourself, who is this random Stegosaurus? Well, if you didn't know, this is Little Green. Little Green has grown up. He is bigger now. And he does not have a mate, but he does have a partner to help him. He was kicked out of the herd for being way too reckless. And he found another Stegosaur. And now they are going to start their own herd. Well, they will hope.